Tanke, which means hello in Catawba. I'm going to show y'all today how to make a ribbon skirt. So, with the ribbon skirt, you normally need 2 yards. And if you purchase my ribbon skirt kit, the kit comes with 2 yards of fabric in there already. So what you do is you take this factory seam, and then you have the raw seam, raw side, whatever you want to call it, where it has been cut. So that's where they cut it, and then you have the factory side. So what you do is you fold half on the factory side, and then you are going to fold it again in half. So then you have like 4 little sections, and then I like to just lay mine down on the table, which I will turn the camera and show y'all what I have going on here. And I put in my measurements. Okay, my waist was 53 and my length I want is 30 inches. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 53 plus 15, which equals 68, and then 68 divided by 4, which is 17. So because it's in like 4 sides, that's why you're dividing it by 4. And then for the length is 30 plus 3 equals 33. So even just saying that like your waist is like smaller than mine, and it's only like 30, you would just do 30 plus 15, and then that'd be 45, and then you're gonna take 45 divided by 4. I'm not good at math, so I'm not gonna do that without a calculator. But then whatever number you would get, that's what you would mark on here with your little measuring stick. And then whatever the length you want of your skirt is what you would do right here. But you're always just gonna plus 3 to allow for your seam allowance. But I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment and ask me. But yes, that is what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing 17 and 33. So for my waist, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to mark 17, which is cutting it pretty close. I am a bigger girl, so. And then I'm going to grab my yardstick and I'm going to go all the way down the skirt for the length. Alright, so I'm going to start right here. I'm going to start from the top, go all the way down to 33, which is right here. Normally I like to do 15 inches for like a natural, like kind of how people normally walk, so it's not like a pencil skirt. But for me, because my waist is bigger, I am going to go like literally all the way down here to the end. I'm gonna go to 18. And then basically you're just gonna mark right here so that you know where to cut. And then I'm gonna grab my yardstick again, and I'm gonna go right here. And then there is the line for what you cut. Cut the skirt out. I throw one side to the side, and I open up this side. So I am very like square. That's why my fabric looks very square. Normally it's like very like out in the open and then in toward the waist. But like I said, I'm a bigger girl, so this is how it looks right now. And so normally I just like play around with how I want the ribbon to kind of sit. So I'm gonna figure out how I want this ribbon to sit, and then I will show y'all what to do after you figure out where you want your ribbon to be. Alright, so I'm one of those people, I like my ribbons to be touching. I don't like them to be spaced out. So I have it laid out how I want it, and then I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to glue down just the black one, because once I get the black one sewn in, all I have to do is line these up to that and they'll be straight. I take this fabric glue stick and I'm going to glue it. Very easy because I just glue it down on where this has been like folded. So then I already know where my straight line is. And I just put like a fair amount of glue to make sure it sticks. This isn't like permanent glue or anything. It just holds it down while I'm sewing. And so then I just line it back up. Make it as straight as possible. And this like technique is very beginner friendly, because like I said, once I sew this down and I just line these up, it's so easy to sew them and you're not having to figure out like how far in between you want your ribbons. So this is very easy. It's very beginner friendly. So yeah, I'm just gonna get this sewed down. I'm gonna show y'all how I do that, and we'll get sew it. So I just put it in and make sure you put the foot down, and then I just sew straight line down the edge of the ribbon. So now we have this side sewn on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our other thread, and I like to put a little design in on the other thread as it's sewing together. Normally I like to do this little flower design. So I'll show y'all what that looks like after I am finished. But just enjoy me sewing these up. sewing set to this, which is this one right here. I'm just gonna show y'all how I sew it. You're just gonna line them up right next to each other. I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to show y'all how to put the skirt. Alright guys, so I have both sides. And what you're going to do is you're going to face the two pretty sides inward to each other. And you're going to have your factory seam, which you're going to just line up to each side. So factory side to factory side. And you're gonna have something like this. Make sure it's lined up pretty straight. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna sew this side and you're gonna sew this side straight. And then we're just gonna sew a straight line to begin with. So then you have a seam going down the side of your skirt, and then just because I want to make sure that that seam does not come undone, I do a zigzag stitch across it. So it's going to look like this. So as you can see, it has a zigzag along the seam. just gonna flip it over, and you're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side that is still not sewn together. All right, so now that you have both your sides done, what you're gonna do is you're gonna make your seam for the bottom of your skirt. So I just fold mine up, and I figure out how like wide I want it, which like this is like perfect right here. So like that. Fold it up. A lot of people iron theirs. I do not. I just kind of eyeball mine, and then just start sewing in a straight line, straight seam. So we're gonna start on the seam, and we're gonna just start sewing. Guys, now you have your hem on the bottom of the skirt. So now we're gonna go to putting the elastic in the waistband, which is super easy. I know it kind of just seems like a lot, but it's super easy. So this is the elastic I'm gonna be using. I usually would opt for like a little bit thicker elastic, but I like this kind too. So basically I just grab like a good bit of elastic. This right here will do. So we got our elastic cut out. We're gonna put that to the side right now. What we're gonna do is we're basically gonna do the same thing we did for the hem on the skirt. We're going to fold it over. Like so. We're gonna have it folded over. We're gonna start on a seam again, and we're gonna start sewing. We're gonna sew all the way around until we get back over here, and then we're gonna leave like a little opening so that we can get our elastic through. Here, And I'm gonna leave this little bit of an opening so that we can get the elastic through. Back stitch, pull out. They're easy to hold rather than the small ones. So I just like to stick my safety pin through the elastic, close it, straighten the elastic out. Then we're gonna take and put the safety pin and the elastic through that little hole that we left, and you're basically just gonna pull the elastic through.
So we're getting close to the opening. Pull it out. Basically, I just like to pull it, get it all worked through there on how tight I want the elastic.
Sew these two parts together, and then we're going to trim the excess. So what I like to do is I'll do a straight stitch, and then I'll do a back stitch, straight stitch, back stitch, and then I'll do a couple of the zigzag stitches, just because I want to make sure this elastic does not come apart. Back stitch, straight stitch, back stitch, straight stitch, back stitch, and now we're gonna do zigzag stitch. What it's gonna look like, and that's just to make sure that this elastic does not come undone while we are wearing our skirt. Then you're just gonna trim off excess. And then you got your elastic in your skirt, but we still need a close of this spot. So we're gonna put that spot under the sewing machine. Make sure your elastic's pushed in there because you don't want to sew that. And then sew the opening closed. Oh, make sure you take it off of zigzag first. See my dog walking around in the background. He has to be around me 24/7. But this is the finished ribbon skirt. Here's the back of it. I think it's very cute. It falls at a perfect length for me. And I hope that this tutorial was very easy to follow along. I wanted to make it very beginner friendly for y'all, especially if you purchase one of my ribbon skirt sewing kits, because there's a QR code that you scan that takes you to this video. So I wanted to make it very beginner friendly, not have that much detail in it, so that y'all understand the basics of making a ribbon skirt first. If it was confusing, please comment down below. I can better explain. But yes, this is the finished ribbon skirt. I hope y'all love it as much as I do. Thanks for following along.